In this video, I'm going to tell you everything you need to know to become a better defender in Siege. I'm going to go through like the 4 different main kinds of defense ideologies you can use and methodologies you can use, as well as some use cases and some examples of how you can use them. So to begin with, Siege is a really sort of diverse game with all the sort of destructibility, verticality, breaching, stuff like that, all the gadgets as well. It makes the game so like replayable and so diverse in how you can set up the sites and stuff, and how you can play around the sites. However, generally people will always stick to the same sort of default strats. It gets to the point where people are just running these strats without even like understanding why. They don't know how to adapt to different changes and different things like the enemies will do. So they'll just keep rerunning the same thing and lose over and over again. The way that I like to think about it is, if you've lost a site, why would you play the same site again in the same way again and expect to win it? I think it was Einstein that said insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. That is the exact same thing as what you're doing here. So what I'm suggesting in this video is 4 different ways that you can defend and that you can change up your ideas and your strats depending on how the enemies play and how things progress in a game. So let's say you play the site here, you lose it. Okay, let's play the site again, but try something different. Let's try a different kind of strat, a different kind of hold. And right now in this video I'm going to give you some examples of how you can do that. So the 4 types of holds you can do in Siege are turtle strats, roam heavy strats, utility dump strats, and info heavy strats. And they all have similar aspects to each other and different aspects to each other as well, which makes them sort of better in different scenarios. So I'm going to start off by talking about turtle strats, which are probably like the most sort of basic, like oldest strat in the book. When you're like a copper and you first got the game and you're a bit of a copper, you're probably gonna like just default to kind of being a bit of a turtle and just sitting on site. The main idea with turtle strats is that you sort of heavily fortify the site, and then you just play kind of in and around the site. So an idea for that with this map that I'm on right now, Bank, would be to reinforce all the hatches, reinforce like the walls, reinforce garage off. I don't know, you probably could still hold it, but like generally you'll be on, if you're doing a turtle strat, you'll be all 5 on the basement here, and you'll be sort of, you might extend into a whole server because that's still basically around site. And the main idea will be just to try and stay safe on site kind of thing. Now this works against lower ranked people who are like less good with time management, who might burn the clock out by themselves without realizing. Like they might sort of just take too long clearing things that are already empty, to the point where you can just like survive and then have it be a 5v5 in the last 45 seconds and deny the plant enough to win the round. However, these kind of strats are really bad if you run them twice in a row, because as soon as the enemies know that you're going to be all 5 on site, they have full reign to just take the map for free. So they can be in breaching towards the site within like 30 seconds, 45 seconds maybe, which is a lot of time to be able to sort of pick apart the site if you give them that much freedom to do that. So one of the main sort of benefits of using a turtle strat is to play for trades. If you're not very good at playing for trades, like getting trades with your teammates, playing a turtle strat can kind of help with that, because you're always going to be bunched up with your teammates. There's always going to be someone there to be able to try and refrag you if you die, or you can try and refrag if they die. So that is one of the good sides. But like I said before, all the sort of free map control that you're giving away. Let's take for Bank example again. Like they can literally just come straight in open area and just start breaching the hatches in 45 seconds if they have enough time to even draw an open area, and then jump in. That'll be like 30-45 seconds, and that is a lot of time to kill everybody on site. So sometimes it's not really a good enough idea. It's not really a good idea to do turtle strat, but you can get away with it if you have enough like sort of operators to deny plants for long enough. Sort of another idea that you can kind of try and do is to play one round with like a bit of a roam presence, and then the next round, if you lose that first round, to start playing a turtle strat after that, because then there'll be the phantom pressure of a roamer that could be somewhere around the map that the enemies have to worry about. But because there's no roamers, they're just clearing it for nothing. So if they're not smart enough to realize there's no roamers initially, then it could waste a bit of time, which will obviously help the turtle strat. So some general good operators for running turtle strats are smoke, obviously for the way to set up, the ability to set up sites, and the plant denial that smoke has. You can deny plants for. Some operators are bandit and Cade for the ability to deny walls or walls or hatches for an extended period of time. You can like Cade trick, or you can bandit trick. stuff like that, to try and keep them out for a bit longer. Maestro and Echo as well are good operators for turtle strats because of they have the high, well Echo at least has the high scope gun, so he can play like a long angle. I'll use this one for an example. He can just play back here, hold this long angle into server, and then just like keep flicking to his drone when he needs to. If he's safe, just check his Echo drones, come off them, try and get a kill, jump back on them, kind of thing. So like with Echo, you can kind of just stay alive on site, have the ability to stop the plant with the drones, have the good gun for the long range kind of thing. And same kind of goes for Maestro. He has the Evil Eyes to stop plants and stuff like that. As well, another good operator is Goyo, because he can deny plants as well for a good amount of time, or he can even just hold back the attacker for a good amount of time on certain positions, which obviously you want to have. You need to have as much burn, like time burn, as you can with the turtle strap, because you don't have any roaming. You don't have any roaming to do that as well. And some more operators that you can use as well in turtle strats as Army, just to give you some more positions to play on site, because generally there's maybe on each site there's probably maybe 2 or 3 good positions to play that will be able to stop plants and stuff. So if you play as Army, you can kind of make some more, make it easier just to defend these angles. And then Jaeger and Momai, because if you're all going to be on site, you're kind of easy pickings to get naded. So just having the Jaeger and stuff and the Wamai to protect your gadgets, as well as obviously I'm not saying these are the only 5 operators you should play if you're doing a turtle strap, or you shouldn't just play 5 of the operators that I said. Use your own initiative and think about who can deny time, who can burn time, who can like fortify the site. Some sites you might want a castle, some sites you might want mutes, stuff like that. Alright, so that's the first kind of strat that I'm going to talk about. Alright, so the next kind of defending methodology I want to talk about is a roam heavy strat. The best example of a roam heavy strat that I can give you is the good old SSG roam on Clubhouse. If you've been around the game for a while, you'll definitely know what I'm talking about when I say that. If not, then that's fine. I'm going to explain it now. So a good few years ago, SSG was one of the best teams in NA, and they sort of pioneered a Clubhouse basement strat, which involved like operators like Castle, Vigil, Mute, Mozzie, and they would have 4 people off site, I believe. I believe it would only be like a smoke on site or something, and they would all be roaming around the map with all the hatches open and stuff like that to basically they wouldn't let the attackers gain a foothold into the map. They would be protecting nearly every inch of the map, to the point where the attackers couldn't get in the building to do anything. And if they tried to rush site, all the hatches were open to just rotate. Oh well, at least the bar hatch was open to rotate back to site quickly and stop any kind of rush, as well as the smokes on site to burn time. Obviously, that's not like where roaming began. Roaming's been around since the start of the game, but that was like the sort of one of the best examples of a really roam heavy strat. There's been a few times in the past before that where people try like 0 people on site kind of strats, but like where they turn the site into sort of like a kill box by opening the walls and stuff, which didn't really work out too consistently compared to that Clubhouse strat. I mean, nearly every single team that played the game at the time, like Pro League and under, would have the SSG roam strat. So the way that these sort of strats would work is you can sort of, obviously you have the unpredictability of being able to be nearly anywhere on the map, but then if you pair that up with stuff like operators like Mozzie and Mute, you can deny drones, so they won't know your position. All they'll know is there's somebody off site somewhere, and it will they'll mean that they'll have to try and clear them, and by the time they've sort of got into the map to try and clear them, they're going to have to go without any info, because the drones are just getting muted, or there's Mozzie pests blocking the way, which means that the attacker, like the Ash or whoever the entry is, will just have to go in going blind and try and play off the gun skill to try and just like pick corners and stuff without knowing what's going on, which pretty obviously is really really favours the defender in that kind of gunfight. Another example of roam heavy strats can be even like a duo roam, or even solo roam sometimes if you know how to do it. I might be doing a full guide on sort of roaming if that's what people want to see, because I quite like a bit of roaming, and I feel like there's some things I could bring up that I haven't really heard being talked about a lot in like guides and stuff, so I might do that as well in the future. But like another sort of idea for like a roam strat would be a duo roam, where you can have 2 players play together, start in a certain position. Let's use this janitor for example. Like, we'll just sort of make a rotate up here, and let's pretend the site's basement like it is, and we'll have like a duo roam where 2 people start up here, and then just start by sort of making some pressure. Let's say they hear people going bottom square or something, then you start pressuring pressuring angles and stuff. make it so their presence is known, and like maybe kill a couple of drones, and then all they need to do is just fall back to where, like, from like a point that's safe. They can fall back down to the lobby or something, and then either hide to re-aggress somewhere else, or they can rotate back to site even. It's best when you're doing like, if you're doing like a duo roam, because you're probably going to be facing 3 or 4 attackers and like 1 guy droning maybe, or 3 attackers and 2 guys droning. You'll be outnumbered, so it's best to play more sort of on the ratty side of things. So you like take a few shots, back off, go somewhere else, either chill somewhere where they don't know where they don't know that you can be, or go from a different angle and a different approach. And this sort of room is really good for killing time, which then at that point you want to later on be able to survive and get back to site to be able to deny plants and stuff, and hopefully in that position you'll be in like a man count advantage, and you can just play for trades on site, like the sort of turtle strat kind of vibe. And another reason why you want to be kind of really quickly to fall back is because generally when you're roaming you won't have a lot of reinforcements to protect you. Like, you'd probably be running around here with all these walls soft. You might reinforce 1 or 2 of them, but for the most part you'll need your reinforcements still on site, even though there's a couple of people roaming. So some good operators for roam strats are pretty much the obvious that I mentioned before: the Mozzie, the Mute, the Smoke to be able to stay on site and set up sites, the Castle to block off angles if you're going for a heavy roam strat. A Vigil is great for roaming as well, obviously, because you can hide from drones, so they won't know, even if they can get a drone past the Mute Jammers and the Mozzies, they won't know where exactly in the room he is. And as well, Solus is really good for these kind of roam strats, because she'll be able to find the drones, find where they're coming from, so she'll have like a better idea of where to start the round off, to be able to actually like play aggressive on them spots and then fall back, or like to be able to play aggressive where the drones are, kill a few drones, make it even harder. If she kills 2 drones in the prep phase, that's a fucking dub, because at that point they've got 2 less drones to go in with, and she'll know exactly where them drones are going to come from. She'll be able to easily shoot them. It just makes it so much easier to roam if you have no drones that know where you are. Alright, I've moved over to Kitchen on Coastline now to give you an example of the next strat, which is a info heavy strat. I mean, it kind of does what it says in the tin. In that info heavy strat is where you want to play a lot of info operators. And these are the best to run on sites that have like a lot of vertical play. So as you can see, nearly all of Kitchen is vertical, like destructible. This bit here isn't, but you can see that bit. You can see this part of site from above here, so it is still kind of destructible. And the idea with these is you want to play a lot of info. So you'll play like Pulse, you'll play like Valk, you'll play Echo, Maestro, and as well as that you'll play a lot of C4s. And the main sort of idea is that if they're going for a heavy vertical take, you can just get the info on them and C4 them, and like just try and get loads of C4 kills. Basically, is the essential. It's basically a turtle strat that you play in really aggressive but on site. So it's kind of like, it's like an aggressive turtle strat where you're just playing heavy for the C4s. Because at the end of the day, even if you don't play for the C4s and they're still playing vertically, they'll still make all the holes in the roof anyway. Like, you are going to C4 the hole. But even though I've just said that, info strats in general, like info heavy strats, don't have to just be about C4 on the roof. They can also be about creating calculated, like, aggressive plays by using info. So what I mean by that is the old Koi team, they used to play, I don't know if they still do, I haven't really watched any of the games recently, but they used to play really heavily off info. So they would have like an echo drone running around the map while Spite would just go around fragging them, like fragging off the info. And he would have like people backing him up to play aggressive with him to get the refrag if he died, or to refrag off him. And that's kind of like a really strong way to gain an advantage in the round. A lot of the time Siege comes down to getting the first pick of the round. If you can get the first pick, after that it's kind of a GG, because all you need to do is play for trades. If you get the first pick in a round and then always play for trades and then always get a trade, then you've just won every single round ever. Like, it's impossible to lose a round. Obviously that's hypothetical, that's never going to be a possible way to play the game. But that is, like, in theory, how you'd never lose in Siege, is to always just get the first pick of the round and then always play for frags. But like I said, that's hypothetical, that's never going to be like consistent enough to be able to actually do. Good operators that you can use on these sort of info heavy strats are people like Pulse, Valk, Maestro, Echo, Fenrir even, because Fenrir, like, you can put the traps places and then when you'll know, like, he knows where the traps are, and he has like an indicator on the screen of which trap actually went off, so you can like get someone to place a C4 somewhere. and when that trap goes off you can just blow it up like freebie. And as well, Solus is really good for info gathering. The final defending sort of methodology and ideology I want to talk about is utility dump strategies. And this is like simply, it's where you just stack up a bunch of utility that has to be cleared before the enemies can try and get a plant off, and hopefully hoping that they don't have enough like burn and explosives to get rid of it all. So that you'll stack up things like Jaegers and Wamais on like entrances, and then you'll put like you'll stack up sort of Jaegers and Wamais, and then you'll put gadgets that you can sort of abuse to stop them from coming in. So like this used to be really broken when there was things like Goyo shields, when you can put Goyo shields down. You can still do it with deployable shields, and you can still do it with things like Azamis, like I'm playing Azami now. So you can just sort of spam yourself like covers like this, and then you can have like head peeks and just play like abuse the cover that like has to be cleared before they can even like really come in, like before they can safely try and come in. And then if you like do these sort of as army, they have to burn them. So you just put like Jaegers and Wamais there. They have to burn the Wamais and Jaegers first, and then they have to start burning the gadgets. So it burns a lot of time, and it burns a lot of well, utility. Another good operator for these kind of strats is Rooney, because obviously she has to be burnt as well. So you can put a Rooney's like on this double door, for example, and they can't run into sort of like pop it like that, and they have to either throw a drone in or throw a utility in to get rid of it, and then they have to do it again to get rid of the utility that was protecting. So this kind of strat kind of fell out of the meta like when Goyo got nerfed. However, it's still really effective, especially in ranked where there's not enough coordination to even burn all of this stuff. So if you're 5 stacking in ranked, you can just play a lot of stuff that needs to be burned. And generally, unless the other team are 5 stacking as well, they probably won't clear it all. Even if they are 5 stacking, they probably still won't have the coordination and sort of the brain power to figure out how to clear everything. So it still will work. It's just a bit boring to play, I'll be honest. It's just a bit boring to sit on site behind your utility and wait for it to try and be burned and try and play aggressive when it's getting burned and stuff like that. But it is just another sort of defending sort of strat like idea you can use. Again, I don't want to go too much into specifics of how to use these strats, because there's so many different examples on so many different maps that like it's different on every kind of map you'll try it on. But if you want to see some examples, I can potentially do that in the future. So to give a quick summary of the video on what I've basically talked about in this video is don't do basic default strats. These are so predictable and so boring that like generally the enemies will just know already how you've set up. The enemies won't even need to drone the map because they'll know how you're going to set up, because everybody does the default stuff. Everybody plays in the same sort of areas. Everybody reinforces the same walls. Everybody makes the same rotation holes. Everybody makes the same utility on site. So like generally for the most part, you'll see a lot of people don't even drone anymore because of that. So if you start doing stuff that's out of the norm by doing these kind of different ideas with strats, this will mean that the attackers have to drone and have to make use of the drone phase like efficiently, to the point where like a lot of people in ranked won't really want to be honest. Like a lot of people don't put a lot of effort in ranked, so they won't really care enough to do all that effort that they need to put in to actually be able to win the rounds, and it'll just be an easy round win for you. And the final sort of point that I want to bring home is that try different methodologies with how you defend. Try, like, if you lose a site playing like a turtle strat, then try roaming. Try playing 2 people off site. Try playing 3 people off site. As long as you have enough ways to come back to site. So let's say you've opened up hatches above site, or like you've opened up this hatch here so you can rotate down and get back to site. If you have to, you can drop down and go through kitchen and go back to site, bathroom and go back to site. Or you can or you can stop the site from above, so you can make vertical above here to stop them from coming in kitchen door. You can do the same above kitchen window, and then you can play from off site but stop them from coming into site. So it's like you're on site but you're not. Stuff like that. Just do stuff that's different, and it will sort of work out, because people don't get enough info in ranked. Like, I don't remember a single ranked game where I've had good info, like good drone info and good like teammates giving info and stuff like that. Even 5-stack games, it just doesn't happen in ranked. So you can abuse that by doing things out of the norm, and if something doesn't work, try something different. It doesn't even have to be a drastic change. It could just be a little operator change. It could be a little utility placement change. Just do something different. Don't do the same thing and expect to win. That is the definition of insanity, according to Einstein. So yeah, if you enjoyed the video, drop a like, and I'll see you in the next video.